Just yeah, I think it's finally. Okay, so we'll start. We will look at the sheet in a while, but let me just introduce you to a few things before we start the session. So we are more or less again going to work on the clauses. Okay, so we did look at them a while ago. I think in the second week, the lectures in the second week, where you were introduced to the clauses, right? Both the, and I mean, of course, the independent clauses, but more important to us was the subordinate clauses because you had to look at the kind of subordinate clauses they were, or rather the functions that each of those subordinate clauses perform, right? So this is something that we were looking at. So we are uh, in this particular session, again, we are also looking at the same kind of clauses, but with a little bit of a difference, right? So what is the difference? These clauses may still be, a subcategorization of noun clauses or adjectival clauses or adverbial clauses, but they are a different kind of, okay, I won't say kind of, a different type of it's a different type of clauses. Just a second. Okay. So yeah, so we're still looking at these clauses. We are not changing anything about them. Whatever we discussed about the type, the kinds of clauses, so the kind of subordinate clauses, it still is quite a valid, uh, you know, um, lecture that we have had. Right? There's nothing, no change to it. But in this particular worksheet, we are also going to look at the types of clauses that you can have. Right? Not just the noun, adjectival, and the adverbial type, but also some other kinds of clauses that you can very commonly see in the English sentence structures, right? And those include the question clauses, the if and whether clauses, and that clauses, right? What can they function as? Where do they usually are located in a sentence? All of that, I think, will be introduced to you when you look at those sentence examples, right? But at this moment, if you ask me about what are they different from the kind of clauses that we have already looked at? No, right? In form, they are different. Of course, there is one thing called a question clause. So it's a different type of clause. If and whether clause is a different type of clause. That clause is a different type of clause, but they could very well function as either a noun clause or an adverbial clause or an adjectival clause, right? So that doesn't change. That's the whole point. So we'll take a look at this worksheet to understand them better. Since there is nothing more conceptually to explain about question clauses, if and whether clause and that clauses, it's better that we look at the question straightforward. Okay. So the first exercise, it's just kind of a revision of what clauses mean, right? Or what clauses are. We have already looked at this part while we're discussing clauses, that when we talk about embedded clauses or subordinate clauses, we are referring to a sentence which is a complex sentence, right? We're not talking about a simple sentence. We're not talking about a compound sentence. The moment you talk about embedded clauses or subordinate clauses, we are referring to a complex sentence. Why? Because complex sentences is the one which can have a subordinate clause, or for a sentence to become a complex sentence, it should have at least one subordinate clause, one embedded clause, right? Otherwise, you cannot have a complex sentence. That's the whole point. So the first exercise is basically an identification exercise. There are 5 sentences. We'll look at these sentences and identify which one among the 5 have properties or characteristics of a complex sentence. Basically, identify the complex sentence among the 5 sentences, right? So the first one here is I know what she wants. I know what she wants. Is this a complex sentence, simple sentence, or is it a compound sentence? What is it? What do you understand? How do you
I,
analyze this thing? When you were learning the uh, clauses lectures, when you were being talked to about the like the clauses, subordinate clauses, what did you identify or what were you told about? How do you identify if something is a subordinate clause or not, or how do you know whether a given sentence is a complex sentence? Someone says it's simple, it's not simple sentence for sure. How do you know this? How can you identify whether a given sentence has a subordinate clause or not? You need to speak up. You have well progressed into the course, and this is not a first kind of a thing that you are meeting with. You've already had answered these things in your exam, so ideally you should be able to answer.
the sentence has subject, verb, and object, and
Yes.
after that, she wants. In the phrase "she wants," there is also a
Hmm.
subject and a verb.
After she wants, there's also a subject and a verb. Where is it though? We cannot see it.
Uh, in the phrase "she wants,"
In the phrase she wants, okay. There is subject and verb in the phrase she wants. Okay. All right. Right. So what makes it so? Is it a complex sentence? And if it is a complex sentence, what is your subordinate clause? That's the question.
mm,
I
at
know
first,
what she wants. Huh.
ma'am, I also thought it as a simple
Huh.
sentence.
Okay. But you have changed your opinion now. It is not a simple sentence.
Yes, ma'am. You
Yeah.
already told me.
So now what is the thing here? It's very simple. You need to again look at the fundamentals. The moment you want to understand whether a given sentence is complex sentence or if at all your plan is to identify a subordinate clause, you need to go back to the sentence fundamentals of subject, verb, and object. What is the subject of the sentence? I know what she wants.
That's I only.
That's I, right? And what is the verb of the sentence?
No.
No, right? So you have I and no is it's a transitive verb, right? It needs to have an object to
Hmm.
complete its sense. And that position has been occupied by the clause what she wants, right? This is a clause. This is a subordinate clause. Of course, it is not complete by itself. What she wants is not a grammatical full sentence in English, but this is being attached as an object to the verb know. I know what she wants. I know what she wants, right? So then this is a complex sentence. You have a subordinate clause in it, and hence this automatically becomes a complex sentence, right?
Ma'am,
That's how you
won't.
analyze the sentence. Sorry.
Ma'am, won't is a transitive verb or intransitive verb?
Sorry, I did not get your
Ma'am,
question.
won't. No is a transitive verb by sure, for sure,
Yeah,
but won't. She wants. It's
wants.
transitive.
Oh, she wants definitely. But then this is not your ordinary clause. This is a question clause, and this is how it is going to look. Okay. What she wants is not your normal subordinate clause. It is a different kind, which is what a question clause is called, right? We are looking at question clause only in this particular worksheet. So what she wants, it has a WH word, which is what in this case. It could be where also, it could be who also, it could be when also. But these kind of clauses are called as a question clause. Okay. So want has it is a transitive verb. It has an object, but in this case, it is not meant to be that because we are not talking about a clause that is ordinarily used in a sentence. This is a question clause. Question clauses will definitely not have object, right? If you understand the structure of an interrogative sentence, right? If I ask you a question, what did you eat? You can answer that question, right? You can answer it in another sentence. You can see I ate a mango, but mango itself is not a part of the interrogative sentence, right? And this being a question clause, obviously the object cannot be inserted in the question clause itself. Got that point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, this is a little more of an intricate question. This requires you to know a little more technical things, which I think at this point you are not required to. This is more more of a, I mean, it is grammar, but it is a little more of technicality. You will have to learn certain other things to understand. But I think this much of explanation is enough. If you understand how an interrogative sentence works, we know that the answer to the interrogative question is not present in the question itself. That is a different sentence. You can give the answer only in a different sentence. So even if you have a verb like want, which has a transitive feature, like which requires an object, that cannot be fulfilled in the question sentence. It can only be given in the next sentence, which is given as an answer, which is a declarative sentence, right? So same thing applies to a clause also. It will also behave the same way as a question interrogative sentence, right? Within the clause itself, you cannot have the object, even though conceptually there can be an object. So, okay, second one, she goes to the market. What about this one?
Simple sentence.
This is a simple sentence, right? Because you have a subject, verb, object, and we do not have anything else which can classify, right? Where there is no other object that it can. I mean, sorry, not object, no other clauses, no other subordinate clauses are present in this. The idea that we should register for the conference is good. How about this one? The idea that we should register for the conference is good. Any subordinate clauses in this sentence? Anywhere? The idea that we should register for the conference is good. I'm a little surprised that people aren't able to answer. This was right in week number 2, which means you haven't understood the concept of subordinate clauses clearly. All of you need to revisit those lectures, or you're going to run into trouble for the exam. You will have questions on this.
Ma'am, we have studied but forgotten. I have not revised for long.
Yeah, yeah. These things are not, this isn't anything that you need to, I mean, these are concepts, right? You don't forget concepts. But okay, the idea that we should register for the conference is good. How do you tackle this? So there is a subordinate clause, and that is that we should register for the conference, right? You can take off that clause and you can still have a grammatical sentence. The idea is good. So to describe or modify the noun idea, you've added the clause that we should register for the conference, right? So this one is a subordinate clause. So certainly the sentence is a complex sentence. Anywhere you can figure a subordinate clause, that sentence automatically becomes a complex sentence. Okay. Then fourth one is Rakesh and Deepa would visit their friend in the evening. Rakesh and Deepa would visit their friend in the evening.
Simple sentence only.
This is a simple sentence, right? This is a simple sentence. You do not have any subordinate clauses in this sentence, right? Rakesh and Deepa would visit their friend in the evening. Simple sentence. Then you have the last one here. I wish that they could come and stay with us. I wish that they could come and stay with us. I wish they could come and stay with us.
Here,
It's
that clause
very,
is
yeah, yeah. So I have put that in the brackets because without that, a lot of people were finding it difficult to identify. So this is again one thing that clauses in certain kind of sentences like these, it is not necessarily something that needs to be there, right? So I could also say, I wish they could come and stay with us instead of saying, I wish that they could come and stay with us. So that is optional in certain kind of clauses. We have some names for it, but I do not wish to use too many terminologies. Let understand. I just wanted to understand that uh, there are sentences in English which could keep this that which is a subordinating conjunction in this case. It is optional in certain case. Okay, so uh, whether you say I wish that they could come and stay with us, or whether you say I wish they could come and stay with us, This they could come and stay with us is what? What kind of clause is it? Subordinate clause, right? Because it's a part of the larger sentence, I wish so and so. And I is the subject of the sentence, wish is your verb, and the object of the verb wish is your subordinate clause, which is the that they could come and stay with us, or simply they could come and stay with us, right? So this is again what? What kind of sentence is this? What kind of sentence is this?
Complex.
Complex sentence. Other people in the call, are you guys listening or are you simply here? You're only your soulful presence is available in the meeting. You do not want to interact and contribute. This is not a lecture. This is an interactive classroom. So if you're here to attend it, you need to provide answers as well. This is not your usual lecture. That is done in your video lectures. Even if you do not know, you should have some answers. You know, staying just quietly here doesn't help anyone's case. Okay, all right. So that last one, again, it's a complex sentence because of the presence of a subordinate clause. Okay. Then we move on to the next one, which is this is designed as an exercise, but then through the exercise, I also want to introduce you to the three clauses that we mentioned, right? Which is what this worksheet is about: question clauses, if and whether clauses, and that clause. Okay, so I think in this exercise, you're going to be introduced to all the three kind of clauses and their grammaticalities. Okay, that's what we are going to look at. Okay, we will look at each of the question one by one. So you're going to look at whether the given sentences are grammatical or ungrammatical. And if you say it is ungrammatical, then we'll together figure out why it is ungrammatical and what makes it grammatical. Okay. We have the first question here. I would like to know what he likes to study. Now, in the following sentences that we'll discuss, make a note of what question clauses are. So these are the quintessential question clauses that we have, right? Question clauses are the subordinate clauses that begin with a WH word. Okay, so it could be either what, or it could be where, or it could be who, it could be when, right? Anything that begins with a WH word, right? That becomes your question clause. Okay. If and whether, of course, will have the if or the whether subordinating conjunction. And that clause will definitely have the that subordinating conjunction. Right? That's the only distinction. So you need to identify them every time you find them in the sentences that we have here. So the first question that you have here, I would like to know what he likes to study. Is this a grammatical sentence? I would like to know what he likes to study. So analyze each of the sentence in the terms of subject, verb, object. Okay, that is your fundamental. Every time you have this kind of an analysis, you need to look at whether the sentence has a subject, it has a verb, and where is the object of the verb, and if there is any problem with the way they are arranged. So what about this sentence? Do you see anything wrong with this? I would like to know what he likes to study.
Ma'am, I can't see your screen, I think.
Why can you not see this?
Madam, even I cannot see.
Ma'am, I thought
But
it's only with my screen. Oh,
I mean, it is shared. I don't know why you cannot see.
Yes,
No,
ma'am.
I'm also not
That's the
able to. We
last.
were able to see until last couple of minutes. Around 2 minutes back, it stopped.
Okay,
earlier I thought
I'll
it's only
share
with my
again then. Just a moment.
earlier I thought it's only with my screen. I just left and rejoined, but it's with everyone.
You see it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Now,
Okay. I don't know. Something went wrong. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I would like to know what he likes to study. How about this? This is a grammatical sentence, or does it have anything that is ungrammatical?
It's grammatical, I think.
It's grammatical, right? So it's fitting your usual subject, verb, and the object category. You have I as the subject. Would like to know, if serial verb here. but no being the main verb. So you have, I would like to know what, would like to know what he likes to study, right? That's what you have. Okay, all right. Then how about the second one? I wonder where I left my jacket. I wonder where I left my jacket.
Correct, ma'am.
Grammatical.
It's correct, right? Again, what do you have here? You have the subject, you have the verb, and then you also have the object of the verb, right? What is the object of the verb here in this sentence?
Jacket.
I wonder where. Object of the
Jacket.
verb. What is the verb of the sentence?
Ma'am, verb.
What is the verb of the
Wonder.
sentence?
Wonder.
Sorry?
Wonder.
Wonder.
Wonder is the verb. Yeah, that's right. Correct. Wonder is your verb. Now, what is the object?
Jacket.
Object of the verb wonder is jacket. Just look at the sentence carefully.
Where
What is
I
the
left
object?
my jacket.
Yeah, exactly. That is your object, no? If the verb is wonder, then whatever follows it, you ask the question, I wonder what? And the answer is, I wonder where I left my jacket. So that
So,
whole
ma'am,
clause has to be your object. Yeah.
ma'am means where I left my jacket is complete object.
Yeah, that is your object. When you ask the question, wonder what? The answer is not wonder jacket, right? What is the answer? The answer is where I left my jacket. If you simply say jacket, that is not going to make sense. You try and make a sentence. I wonder jacket. Does it have any meaning?
No.
But you say where I left my jacket, that is what is going to give you the full meaning. So that clause, that entire clause is going to be the object of your verb point. Right? That's the point. So the thing with clauses is that this is exactly the reason why we are looking at clauses, right? Every time you have a sentence, it's not going to be subject and then verb and then followed by a singular object. Like I like mango. What I like what mango, right? This is how you ask. But in the case of clause, instead of the singular word like mango or apple or whatever that is, you have a full clause, right? A subordinate clause that takes up its place. Okay, I see. You need to revisit those lectures. You have all forgotten. You clearly don't remember how that analysis happened. Please go back to week number 2 modules and look back at all the lectures again. Right? If you have to answer these questions, you really need to brush up on that. So my sincere advice is that you go back and revisit those lectures. Okay, this is a little technical, but it's not very difficult. It's based on the fundamental concepts of subject, verb, object, but you need to have those concepts thorough, right? Okay, now next one is, would you tell me if Sheetal would attend the meeting? Would you tell me if Sheetal would attend the meeting?
Grammatical. No.
This is also grammatical. Yeah, would you tell me if Sheetal would attend the meeting? Yes, fine. Absolutely fine with that. Would you tell me if Sheetal would attend the meeting? That's okay. Now, what does it have? Does it have a if and whether clause, or does it have a question clause? Does it have a question clause anywhere in the sentence? Would you tell me if Sheetal would attend the meeting? What is the subordinate clause in the sentence? Let us begin from there. Subordinate clause of this sentence would be, would you tell me
If
if
Sheetal would
Sheetal
attend.
would attend the meeting, right? So I can, that's the full if clause. I can also replace it with something else, right? Like, for example, I can say, would you tell me your name? Okay. So that phrase, that noun or pronoun phrase is replaced with a whole clause, which is the if clause, if Sheetal would attend the meeting. So this is the subordinate clause, which is an if clause. Okay. And this is a grammatical sentence. Would you tell me? Would you tell me what? Would you tell me if Sheetal would attend the meeting? Okay. Now, fourth one, what will you wear for the evening? What will you wear for the evening?
Grammatical.
Correct, ma'am.
So, what will you wear for the evening? This is again a grammatical sentence. Now, my question to you, is this a sentence that has a subordinate clause?
No.
Look at it carefully. You don't have to
No.
rush with the answer. Don't rush with the answer. Look at it carefully and tell. What will you wear for the evening? You all know what subordinate clauses are, right? So, If you understand what they are, then based on that, take a look at the sentence and tell me if it has a subordinate. What will you wear for the evening? Compare it with the previous sentence, which is also like an interrogative sentence, right? It had a subordinate clause. If Sheetal would attend the meeting, compare it with that and then look at question number 4 and tell me if it has a subordinate clause. Does it have any?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Subordinate clause.
Where?
Because, ma'am,
Which part of it is subordinate
For
clause?
the evening.
For the evening is not a clause, it's a phrase, right?
Well, I think it don't have a subordinate clause.
Ha, ha, ha. So it doesn't have a subordinate clause. See, if you need to have a subordinate clause, what does it mean? You first of all need a subordinating conjunction, right? It could be either that or if or whether or what was the other one? At least a question clause subordinating like what, when, where, uh, who, how, etc. That isn't there. And on top of that, it also should contain a subject plus verb, right? That is what should make. That is what actually makes a clause. So none of these conditions are present. No conjunction that subordinating conjunction that joins the main clause with the dependent clause. No subject and verb in the other part of the clause. So there is no subordinate clause. Right. This is a plain interrogative sentence. It is grammatical, but it has no subordinate clause. It's a simple interrogative sentence. What will you wear for the fifth one? I asked, what did you wear for the evening? I asked, what did you wear for the evening? Now, here begins our grammaticality point of question clauses. I asked, what did you wear for the evening?
I asked. Grammatical.
It is grammatical, but is the sentence right? You're saying it is grammatical. Is it grammatical? Okay, let's do one thing.
No, it is not grammatical.
Just a moment. Let's look at 5, 6, and 7 together. Okay, because they're all looking at the same. The structure is different, but then the premise used the same for all the three. I asked, what did you wear for the evening? I asked, what you wore for the evening. I asked, what did you wear for the evening? Which one is straight away wrong among the three? Read it.
Last
No
one.
problem.
Last one.
Okay, why is the last one wrong?
What did you wore?
Hmm. Why is it wrong?
Along with did, the verb should be wear, not
Okay.
wore.
So this is a case of double past tense, right? In English, double past tense is ungrammatical. I asked, what did you wore for the evening? This is wrong. Did is also the past tense marker, and then again you are, inserting the past tense marker on the verb wear by converting it to wore. So this is a straightforward wrong sentence, ungrammatical sentence, right? So 7 is out. Now, among the fifth and the sixth sentence, I asked, what did you wear for the evening? I asked, what you wore for the evening.
Fifth.
Fifth one is what? Grammatical, ungrammatical?
Ungrammatical.
Fifth one is ungrammatical, right? Now, the reason is in question clauses, you cannot have the tense and the verb separated from each other, at least in this case. I asked, what did you wear for the evening? What is the problem here? You have the verb wear, yeah, and then you have the past tense marker did. Okay. Now, this shouldn't be separate from each other in the case of a question clause. If you're using the question or the WH as a question clause in a sentence, like in the sixth sentence, right? It needs to be, the tense has to be marked on the verb itself. It cannot be separated out from the tense like you see in the case of both sentence number 5 and sentence number 7, right? Sentence number 7, the problem is it is there on the verb, but then you have again put an additional past tense, which is unnecessary. Fifth question, the problem is that you have separated the tense from the verb where and you have put it outside. as a separate marker, right? That is also not right. Ideally, what you should be doing is the question clause carries the tense on the, or it inflects on the verb itself. So the right or the grammatical way of using question clause in among the three sentences would be the sixth one. I asked what you wore for the evening. Okay. No separation of tense. No separation of tense in the case of question clauses, whether it is past tense, present tense, or future tense, whatever the tense is. No separation of tenses. Understood this point? This is a very often, very
And what
common.
you wore and what you wore for the evening is a subordinate clause, right?
Yeah, of course. That we are not going to discuss anymore. That we have already settled, right? We know and we understand what the question clause is. Now it is about how do you grammatically represent a question clause. So the point is, the grammar part of it is that you never separate the tense of the verb in a question clause. It has to stay intact on the verb itself. Okay. Then we look at this one. Again, we'll look at the sentence number 7, 8, 9 together. Okay. What did you want? I know what you wanted. I know what did you want. Eighth question, what did you want? Is this a, is there a, subordinate clause in that? What did you want?
No, ma'am.
No, right? This is also plain
No.
interrogative question. What did you want? But this is grammatical, right? It's grammatical and it doesn't have a subordinate. Then, I know what you wanted. I know what did you want. Between 9 and 10, which one is the grammatical one? I know what you wanted. I know what.
Nine.
9 1 is grammatical one and 10 1 is ungrammatical.
Okay. And what is the reason again?
And did you want
Did.
that did not?
Did you want? So what is the reason? Did you want is the problem, but what is the reason? This
Tense
is the
and verb
concept
in the
that-
single
yeah,
word.
separate tense and verb are separated, right? That is the problem. This is what you need to learn. Just knowing did and want is not, because otherwise, when you see the sentence, you won't be able to make that analysis, right? What did you want? In the question clause, what did you want? The tense and the verb are separated. That is why it's an ungrammatical sentence, right? So, right answer, I know what you wanted. Okay. Then the 11th one. Now I think we are going to enter the whether and if and whether clauses. Okay. So remember, I think most of what we had in our question began with a what. Okay. The WH word in the question clause was what. Remember, you can have other WH also. You could have where or when or who, right? They're all WH words. They're all capable of forming question clauses. Okay. Let's try something. I don't have them in the worksheet, but let me see if I can give you an example. Let's do at least where, when, and who. Okay. So, I think you can say something like, I don't know where she. No, that is little more complex. Let's look at something. So the sentence. He showed me where he had kept the documents. He showed me where he had kept the documents. So here what is the thing? You want me to leave it in the chat? Let me write it down. He showed me where he had kept the documents. Okay. So what is the question clause in this sentence?
Where he had
Ah, ah, ah. So that becomes your question clause, right? So this is an example with where is the with where as the subordinating conjunction in the question clause. Okay, maybe let's try one with when now. Okay, so if this is the sentence, they haven't decided when to go home. Look at your chat. I'm writing down all the sentences in your chat. They haven't decided when to go home. So what is the question clause here?
When to go?
When to go home.
When to go home. When to go home, not when to go. The whole of that. They haven't decided what? They haven't decided when to go home. The whole part needs to be used as the clause. That the whole from when to home is your subordinate clause, okay? Or question clause in this case. Okay, and then one with who we need to find out. We need to find out who put the cat in the well. Okay. So what is this one? We need to find out who put the cat in the well. We need to find out what?
Who? Who put the cap in the
Who-
well?
Correct. So who put the cat in the well is your question clause in this case. So this is only to show you, since we did not have with where, when, and who in our thing. I thought I should also, because some people will then think that, okay, this is only possible with what. So what, when, where, who, and every other WH, right? Even how. How doesn't technically begin with a WH, but still there is both W and H in that, although in a different order, right? How. So even with how it is possible. So let's look at a sentence with that as well. I don't, um, it's not that. He wondered how she managed the children alone. Okay. He wondered how she managed the children alone. Now, what is the question clause here in the sentence? He
How
wondered
she managed the children alone.
how she managed the children alone, right? Same structure. He wondered what? He wondered how she managed the children alone. So, question clauses are possible with all the WH words. Okay. Keep that in mind. Although in the worksheet we only have it with what. Okay. Now we'll look at the if and whether clauses, right? Beginning from the 11th sentence. I don't know whether Rita will come. I don't know whether Rita will come. Is it grammatical or ungrammatical? I don't know whether Rita will.
Correct, ma'am.
This is correct, right? This is correct. It is grammatical. So remember with if and whether clauses, if the conjunction whether and if is followed by an independent clause, followed with a clause like this. So this is an independent clause, right? Rita will come. Independent clause, okay, maybe I'm using the wrong terminology. If it is followed by a full sentence, okay, uh, like in this case, sentence number 11, I don't know whether followed by Rita will come. Is Rita will come like a full sentence? Is it a complete sentence that makes full sense, complete sense?
Yes.
Rita will come. Yes, right? So if after whether and if it is followed by a complete sentence, a sentence that makes full sense, then it's a grammatical sentence, right? Whether you use whether or if. So instead of I don't know whether Rita will come, I can also say I don't know if Rita will come, right? In this case, both if and other are okay. It is not wrong to use both. If it is followed by a full sentence, then you can either use the if subordinating conjunction or the whether subordinating conjunction. Both are right. Okay? I don't know whether Rita will come is also right. I don't know if Rita will come is also right. Now, if that is the case, look at the 12th one. I do not know if Sanju is coming.
Ma'am, what is the difference between whether and if?
What is the difference between if and what is the difference between if and whether? What do you use if for? What do you use if for?
Conditional?
And yeah, conditional, right? It's a conditional thing. So you usually use to introduce a condition in case of if. And both if and whether you can use to introduce an indirect question, right? So for that also you can use that, right? But uh, if particularly is used to introduce condition, whether is usually given to provide an alternative, right? To provide an option. That is usually the function for if and whether. But both of them together can be used to, I mean, not together, both of them can also be used to introduce indirect questions, right? So that are that are where you use them. Okay. Where are we now? Okay. So 13th one, I cannot decide whether I should buy this phone. I cannot decide whether I should buy this phone. What comes after whether? Look at what comes after whether?
A simple sentence. I should buy this.
Sentence, right? It's a full sentence. So obviously it's a grammatical sentence. Then 14th one, I'm not sure if to get a new car. I am not sure if to get a new car. This is even semantically wrong. This is nothing about grammar because, like we discussed, if is usually used to introduce a condition. There is no condition here, right? It's basically about picking up a choice of whether buying a car or not buying a car. So, what is the natural choice in this case? What will you use, if or whether?
I think
Whether.
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 Whether, right? You'll use whether. I am not sure whether to get a new car. You're not introducing a condition. You're only making a choice between two, right? So that is whether is usually used to do that, right? To perform that function. Now, also the case here is that if you have a to infinitive verb, right? What is a to infinitive verb in this sentence? In the clause here, to get. If, which is a subordinating conjunction, followed by to get, which is your infinitive verb. If you have an infinitive verb like this in the clause, in the subordinate clause, then it has to be preceded by whether, if cannot take its form. So there are two reasons why this sentence is ungrammatical. One reason is that semantically it's wrong. When you're making choice between two things, then you never use it, right? You use whether instead. And second grammatical reason is that there is an infinitive verb in this sentence, to get. So if you have an infinitive verb in the clause, then it has to be preceded by whether, not if, right? That is how you have grammatical sentences. That's how you make a sentence grammatical in case you need to use a whether. Is that point clear? 2 points, both of them should be clear to you. First one is important. First one is important in the sense of meaning making. Second one is important in the sense of the grammatical correction. Are both the points clear to you? Why we are not using if in this case, sentence number 14?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, next one is there are confusions about if the jury would rule in his favor. There are confusions about if the jury would rule in his favor. Here you
Ma'am,
may want
grammatical
to say
error.
the jury would rule in his favor
Whether.
because it's a full sentence.
Whether we will be using here.
Yeah, sure. Let me explain. So, if you say some people will show a tendency, since I already told you, if after if or whether you have a full sentence, right? Like in this case, again, you have the jury would rule in his favor. This is a full sentence. So, people will have a tendency to go ahead and mark this as a grammatical sentence, right? But be careful about this because look at this sentence. What do you have here? Confusions about. What is about? About is a preposition, right? So whenever you have a prepositional phrase or prepositions like this before your if or whether, you need to use not before if or whether, before your given particular um, clause, like the jury would rule in his favor, you have to use whether, not if. Okay, so in sentence number 14, the presence of a to infinitive verb like to get was the problem after the subordinating conjunction. In that case, you had to use whether. Second case where you have to use whether over if is where a preposition, in this case, sentence number 15, you have about, which is the preposition which precedes your subordinating conjunction, right? If there is a preposition preceding the subordinating conjunction, then the choice between if and whether is always whether. If after the subordinating conjunction you have a to infinitive, then between if and whether, again it is whether, right? That is what will make it grammatical. So again, you will say there are confusions about whether the jury would rule in his favor, not if the jury would rule in his favor. Okay, do not get confused about this thing. Don't think that, okay, oh, this is a full sentence, then I can use if or whether. The problem here is you have additional condition. There is a preposition that goes before that conjunction, which is not possible, that which makes it impossible for if to take the place of whether, right? You have to use whether. Clear? Please make a note of this, okay? To infinitive, preposition, and there's one more. We'll look at that shortly. But these two are clear, right? I think the lecture also mentions, but since we are not very good at retaining things from the lecture, just telling these things to you again. Clear now? 14 and 15. Any questions here?
Ma'am, you mean to say कि after preposition we use whether?
Correct. But that identification of preposition you have to do. A lot of people will not do that. They will conveniently ignore this part and then say that, oh, but then you have a full sentence here. That's the problem. You need to, basically, my point is look at your sentence clearly. Do not just rush and read through the sentence. Read it properly, word by word. Okay. So these are the first two conditions. Now, the third condition that restricts our use of if or whether is this one, or not. Right? This clausal structure or not. Usually, if this or not is present between the two clauses, that is between the principal and the subordinate clause, then the choice is whether, again in this case.
Whether,
Okay,
yeah.
so just like in the previous two cases we chose whether, if it is found towards the as something that is bridge between the subordinate clause and the rest of the part of the sentence, then you use whether. Okay, so the problem is if or not, sentence number 16, the problem is if or not we can submit the proposal today is an ungrammatical construction. You have to say the problem is whether or not we can submit the proposal today.
Yeah, whether or not.
But whether or not. It's never if or not. It's always whether or not. Okay. But there is a way around this. If this or not, right, this structure, this form appears at the end of a sentence, like in sentence number 17, it is unclear whether the chief guest would reach on time or not, right? If this is the sentence, then what happens? You can also use if instead of whether. So you could say it is unclear whether the chief guest would reach on time or not, grammatical. You can also say it is unclear if the chief guest would reach on time or not, because or not is now to the end of the sentence. If by any chance we had to say it is unclear and then put or not after that, then you have to choose whether. Then no if works. It is unclear whether or not the chief guest would reach on time is the right or the grammatical sentence. Okay. So if or not is at the end, then if or whether goes. If or not is towards the center, bridging the subordinate clause and the other part, then it has to be always whether or not. Okay, these are the three conditions in the usage of if and whether. Okay.
Excuse me,
So if that is the yeah, go ahead.
ma'am. In the above question, could you just slide up a little bit? Yeah, ma'am. The problem is if or not we can submit the proposal today. Here in place of if we use whether, so the or not will come at end, or will it be in the middle?
No. See, if you're keeping that in the middle as a connector between the subordinate clause and the rest of the sentence, then your choice is whether. If you're pushing it towards the end, then it doesn't matter. You can either say if or whether, right? That is the point.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so look at sentence. You compare 16, 17, and 18, and then understand why they are. You can look at all the three together. The problem is whether or not we can submit the proposal today, not if or not. It is unclear whether the chief guest would reach on time or not. It is not clear if the president's cavalcade would cross the street or not. See?
So, ma'am, the sentence like the problem is whether we can submit the problem today or not will be not means grammatically correct or something like.
Sorry. Repeat yourself. I did not understand.
Ma'am, you said no that if we are using whether, so we do not have to use or not. If we are using or not in the middle.
No. I'm not saying if you're using whether you don't have to use or not. I am saying if your or not is in the middle, joining the subordinate clause and the rest of the sentence, then you use only whether. If the or not moves to the end of the sentence, then you either use whether or you use if.
Okay,
That's
okay,
all.
well, now
Look
got
at
it.
sentence number 17 and 18. That will clarify your problem.
Okay, thank
Read
you.
them, both of them, read. All of you, please take a look at 17 and 18. Okay. This problem only exists when you're taking or not to the center of the sentence, right? As a when you use it to join the two clauses, not the two clauses, the subordinate clauses clause and the rest of the sentence. This choice of whether or not is grammatical, or even the question of whether you should use it for whether is only applicable in that case. When or not is at the end of the sentence, you only have to, you can use either if or whether. You don't have to or repeat or not again in the center. It's already there at the end. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So, but yeah, so one more thing. So if we say that if and whether both are right, right? So I told you when or not is towards the end of the sentence, you could either say it is unclear whether the chief guest would reach on time or not. You can also say it is unclear if the chief guest would reach on time or not, right? So then what is the difference between the both? When you use whether, you can make it more formal. If your idea is to present something more formally, then you prefer whether over if. If something is more casual and conversational, then you replace whether with if, right? If people ask you, then what is exactly the difference? The difference is not grammatical, it's more pragmatical, right? So if it is formal, then you use whether. If it is informal, you use. Right? That's the difference. Then from this is sentence number 19. He sent quickly the file to the office. He sent quickly the file to the office. So now we are moving to the placement of adverbs in a sentence. We are basically checking whether the adverbs can be placed at this particular point. Should it be placed
Above
after the
not
main
done.
verb? Should it go to the end of the sentence? Or is it more fluid? Can you place it wherever you want? This is the question we are looking at. Okay. So he quickly he sent quickly the file to the office. Is it grammatical?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Then uh, what is the problem here?
Ma'am, two.
Quickly. Placement
Where is
of
the
quickly.
placement? Placement of quickly, correct. So adverb placement is the problem. So how do you correct it? How can you correct that sentence?
Uh,
What is the
yes,
preferable
sir.
placement? Okay, let's look at it this way. So if I'm going to build a skeletal of the English sentence, you have the subject, then you have the verb, right? It. And then you have the object, right? So in this structure, sorry,
He
where do you
sent the file.
where do you place the adverb placement? So you have he as the subject, send as the verb, okay? The file as your object. Rest of the things you can ignore. To the office, I'm ignoring for the time being because it is anyway prepositional phrase. You can even avoid that. Basic skeletal, you have he and send and the file, right? Now you have to decide on where to keep this adverb, where to place the adverb.
He
That
sent the
After the
file
order,
quickly
object.
to the office.
After the object.
He sent the file quickly to
speaking
the
at a
office.
time, I did not hear both of you.
He
What was the
sent the
first one?
file. He sent the file quickly to the office.
He sent the file quickly to the office, which means after object.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the correct order.
Ma'am, he quickly sent the file to the office.
Okay. He quickly sent the file, which means
Ma'am, it should come after the object. Adverb should come after the object.
adverb. Oh, sorry. This is what you're saying, no? right?
Yeah, ma'am.
So you're saying it should be either before the verb, before the main verb, or it could be after the object as well, right?
No, ma'am. Only after the object.
Be after the object. Okay. But do you know you are right, but this adding the adverb after the object is a very, it's not classified wrong, but it is a very less commonly used structure. Okay. But in the exam, if they give you only that option, then you can go ahead and mark that. But the more common or the natural placement of adverbs in English is actually subject, adverb, verb, object. It actually goes before or precedes the verb. Okay. So ideally it should be he quickly sent the files to the office. But he sent the files to the office quickly, or he sent the file, he sent the file quickly to the office. That is also acceptable. But this is a lesser commonly seen version, right? What you see more commonly would be he quickly sent the file to the office, or he sent the file to the office quickly. Now, here when you place quickly at the end, right, after everything, that is actually an intensifier. You're not using it as an adverb, but you're using it mostly to emphasize the quickly part. That something was done quickly. So many structures are possible. One is he sent the file quickly to the office, which is before the verb, right? That's a natural order of adverb in English. You can also say he quickly sent the file. He sent the file to the office after the whole sentence is done. You can place quickly, right, at the end. Okay. Another version is he sent the file right after the object quickly, right? He sent the file quickly to the office. But then the last one, the one right after the object, is a less commonly used version. Okay. But what is incorrect is using it right after the verb. You can't use it right after the verb. You can't say he sent quickly the file. This is wrong. You could say he quickly sent. You could say he sent the file quickly, or he sent the file to the office quickly. All the three placements are fine. More natural is, of course, he quickly sent the file, right? That is the more natural selection. Clear, no? Please make a note of this. I do not know how much of this would be given in that, this form of explanation, but knowing the answer is okay, but knowing why it is not right is also important, right? Adverb placements, because adverb is a fluid category. Ideally, adverbs can be placed anywhere in a sentence, but there are certain positions where it cannot be used at all, and that one position is this one, right? He sent quickly. You cannot put it right after the verb. Okay. Then
Yes, ma'am.
next one is upon the placement. He sent to us his CV. He sent to us his CV.
He sent us his EV.
He sent us his CV, right? Not he sent to us his CV. He sent us his CV, okay, which is like the 21st sentence here. The
Ma'am,
21st.
or we can say it like he sent his CV to us.
He sent his CV to us is another version, right? So this is basically about the placement of the objects in a sentence. Now, objects, because you have the verb send, which is a ditransitive verb, right? It can take two objects. Take two objects. So if your direct object, right? If your direct object follows the indirect object, then how do you? So what is the direct object in this? His CV,
CV.
right? That
CV.
his CV. His CV is your direct object here. So he sent us his CV. So if the direct object follows the indirect object, then you don't need this to here. Okay. To is only necessary when you are reversing the order of the objects. When you put the direct object first, he sent his CV. This is the direct object, followed by the indirect. Then the indirect object will take a to. He sent his CV to us. Okay. Or alternatively, what you can do is you can entirely omit the to from here. That is, he sent us his CV. Two versions to this. I'll be write it down if you're making a note. He sent his CV to us, right? Both of them are right. He sent us his CV, he sent his CV to us. To is only used when your indirect object is followed by the direct object. Let's keep that in mind. I think same goes for the next sentences also. He told us that he had an urgent meeting with the client. Is this okay? He told us what is the, again, tell is a ditransitive verb, right? It can take two objects. So one object is us and the other object is the whole clause that he had an urgent meeting with the client.
Yes, ma'am.
He told, correct,
Correct.
right? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Because that he had an urgent meeting with the client. This is correct because as per our discussion, if your direct object follows the indirect, then you don't need a to there, right? Then 23rd one, he told to us that he had an urgent meeting.
No,
Incorrect. To
maybe
Incorrect.
it's like he told
not
that
come.
he had an urgent meeting with the client first.
Sorry.
Ma'am, to
He
us,
told us that he would have urgent meeting with the client. Two should not
To
come.
us, who should not come? Yes, of course. This makes it ungrammatical. Then, of course, the last one, he told that he had an urgent meeting to attend to us. This is okay?
Say to us, attend to us. To is not come at the after attend us.
He told that he had an urgent meeting to attend to us.
To us should not come. Only
Then
us.
what should come? He told that he had an urgent meeting to attend us. No, that's wrong. Something
ma'am,
has to
it will
come.
be wrong. Yeah.
It's right. It's
So,
grammatically right. He told that he had an urgent meeting to attend to us. Correct. Okay. All you did is you flipped the position of the direct and indirect object, right? And if you're flipping it, then obviously it has to. It's similar to he sent his CV to us. Instead of his CV, you have that whole clause there. He had
He
an
told us that he had a urgent meeting to attend.
That is okay, but we are only looking at the sentence we have. If you have that thing in the exam, you can do that. My question is situated in the question that you have here, 24th. This is okay, no? This is grammatically correct. That is the point we are discussing, right? It is correct. To us is fine because the direct object has already, it is preceding the indirect, so no problem. He told that he had an urgent meeting to attend to us. It's fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong there. Okay, so yeah, I think I have a little few more things. This might take a bit more time. I don't want to drag any further today because finite and infinite clauses, it's an easy thing. But then more than that, this subject, that clause I need to spend some time on. We'll take this up in the next class. Okay, we continue it in the next class. But meanwhile, please go back to your module on clauses, right? Please revise it. You will need them till the end of this, the whole of the semester. You will definitely see questions repeating from all of those. So just brush up. I know it's been a while, but you need to go back to that lectures and listen, watch them again. If there are fundamentals that are not clear to you, if there are concepts that you have still not understood, of course you can either ask me here or when you come for the live session, right, on Wednesday 5 to 6, even then you can ask these questions, right? But please revisit. This is not something that you can afford to forget. Please rewatch those lectures, get your concepts clarified. The rest of this we will continue next week, right? Both finite, infinite clauses and that clause. Okay.
Ma'am,
Any questions?
I have a question on question tag.
Question tag? Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Someone knocked on the door. The answer is didn't they?
Someone knocked on the door.
It should be didn't someone. The
No, no,
answer
no. Not didn't someone. It has to be didn't they. This I think we discussed in the last class. I told you if you have an indefinite pronoun as your subject, then the question tag has to carry they.
okay,
We
okay,
discussed it last class. Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Gurkirat, go ahead.
Ma'am, in the last this sentence, he told that sentence. We can say that he told us that he has an urgent meeting to attend. Is it right?
Which one? Sorry, he told us that.
He had an urgent meeting to attend.
He told us that he had an urgent meeting. But yeah, that is right.
Okay. And you are saying that this is correct, right? This is
Yeah,
grammatical
the
correct. Attend to
yeah, it is
us.
grammatically correct. Yes. The 24th one is also right, and the one that you have said is also right.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. No problem. And what is this session including PYQ? No, no, no. Those things we don't do. PYQs are for students to practice. You can do that on your own. Sessions are usually concentrated on what we have for the lectures. PYQs shouldn't be something that we should be discussing here. That's for you to solve on your own. And if you have questions, of course, when you solve, then you can raise them. So there are multiple avenues. You can come to the live session or you can even write the discourse. People will clear it for you. Okay. All right. Thank you. Then we'll see you again next week. We'll continue with the finite process and go to that place.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sure, sure. See you.